Jess here from Just Jessy, and I am here on Hannibal TV.
This is Hannibal here from the HannibalTV.com, and today I have a special guest. She is a model. She is a United Kingdom wrestling reporter. We're going to find out a lot about her today. Just Jessy, all the way from the UK. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. Your hair is quite stunning.
It's so bright. Do you know, every time I take a picture, it gets brighter, I think. I just wanted something a bit different. And like years ago, I had red hair and I loved it. So I decided to do it again. It's a lot of maintenance, like it's a lot of work because my hair is naturally like black. So I have to have a lot of maintenance on this. But yeah, just decided I really like the red.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, black to red is, I could see how you could say that might be a little bit hard on your hair because that's quite a difference in hair color.
I've been every colour, to be fair. I've been every single colour possible. I change my hair all the time.
Now, that's definitely not ginger color, but I did wrestle in the UK over 10 years ago now for a short period of time. And I noticed people in the UK kind of look down on the ginger-haired people. Is that true?
It's not so much anymore. I think more gingers now, they get people used to them, I think.
Okay.
But they don't get as much abuse anymore.
Now, you almost look like a wrestling manager with the look you have going on. And I've seen some of your modeling pictures on Twitter. Is that something that you might want to get into eventually, actually becoming a talent?
Maybe. I was, obviously, since the whole pandemic situation, I was considering, obviously, doing training. And obviously now I do all the other stuff or work with other people, do videos and things like that. There may be a day when I try it, see if I like it. But at the minute, with everything that's going on, it's kind of stopped me from doing quite a few things.
Yes, us too here in Canada. How is the wrestling scene in the UK now with the pandemic? Has everything stopped?
Everything. There is nothing. Absolutely nothing going on at all. Everyone's had to stop. And it's the worst thing because obviously everyone here is so used to every other weekend going to a show. And obviously I do videos. A lot of my friends do different podcasts, just mainly about British wrestling, and everything's just stopped. And obviously I'm friends with a lot of wrestlers over here as well, and everything's just stopped. So it's not been fun. So I'm looking forward to just going back to normal and everybody can actually go back and wrestle again, really.
Now, people here in Canada on the indie scene, even though there doesn't seem to be a sight and end for the lockdown, people are planning events for like the fall, which is a little crazy, not knowing if it'll be canceled or not. But do you see that kind of stuff happening there, that even though there's no end in sight, people are still trying to promote future events?
Do you know what? Everyone's stopped. Everyone's completely stopped. Like I think at the minute it's gonna be a case over here of, I think as soon as we're allowed a few bigger events, everyone's gonna plan last minute. I don't think anyone's gonna anytime soon plan anything for the next few months. I think a lot of them over here have kind of cancelled for, I think even for like October, they've cancelled so much because they just obviously want to make sure that they don't plan everything, it all just goes wrong. So I reckon there's going to be very last minute planning, as in like week wise, I reckon.
Are you familiar with the Super Clash company out of Gloucester or Gloucestershire? I don't know how to pronounce it.
I think so.
No. I was supposed to go down there and cover an event they were doing in October, but now it's been switched to February. They were going to bring in Harry Smith and a bunch of big names. But maybe you'll hear more about them.
Maybe, yeah, no, because obviously I was meant to, I've obviously done podcasts and spoke to different like wrestling promotions, and there was about 5 of them obviously had plans for May and June, and now they've just had to push everything. Like they don't have a date, they just don't know. Everybody's in limbo about it at the minute, and I don't really blame them. I wouldn't want to plan anything just yet. I wouldn't even want to put my heart and soul into it until we know that we can actually do it properly.
Now, we have heard a lot of speaking out related news from the
Yeah.
UK wrestling scene in particular lately. What is it, do you think, about the UK scene where it seems some of this stuff goes on more than other places?
Yeah. It's hard because obviously when it all, you hear stories, you hear little things, but you don't think much of it at the time. And obviously a couple of weeks ago when everything came out, there are people on, the people on these lists that I'm friends with, and you can imagine it was really hard over here. Obviously I don't think they had that much in the US of it, but over here the amount of people it really hit, it was really, really dark and really upsetting. There's a lot of my friends that have been affected, wrestler wise and promoters, and everybody has really been affected, and it's a very sad situation. And it's scary because a lot of people have now completely lost everything, and we don't know what they're doing. Like NXT UK, they've lost a big amount of people there, so we don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully, I think they're doing a lot of safeguarding now, and they're kind of bringing more females in as kind of like safety officers and things like that to make obviously things better, which it needed a change. So hopefully going forward it will be a bit better.
When was the actual last NXT UK taping? I understand they haven't run for quite a while.
Not for a while. I don't know. I don't know when they last did it, but it's been a while. I know I think they've gone back to. I think they're still doing a few of them each week now. Well, on like a Thursday, I think they've started again. Not many. I don't think they've got that many filmed. As far as I'm aware, they're not taping anything at the minute.
Okay. And I heard they stopped doing house shows quite a while ago because I guess there was attendance issues or something.
What is in the NXT UK?
Yes, from what I understand, they used to do house shows as well as tapings, but now they don't do house shows anymore.
I don't really know. I've been to one of the shows. I went in, it was last October. That's quite good actually. The NXT UK. I follow it, but not as much as I probably should.
I see.
Yeah.
So how did you become a wrestling fan? You don't look like the average wrestling fan. First of all, I think there's only a small amount of females that still watch wrestling.
There is, obviously, apart from the female wrestlers and people like me that are involved in it, there's not actually that many of us. And I was 7. I was 7 years of age when I first started watching it, so it was a while ago. But I had a few years off where I just didn't watch it because I was a teenager and I wanted to be cool, and wrestling wasn't cool. And over here as well, it's a bit different because it's a lot of stereotyping. So if, in the US, it's US Canada, it's massive. Over here, not so much. So if you're kind of knowing that, oh, you watch that, people might think you're a bit weird. So when I was younger, I didn't tell many people. It wasn't until the last few years I was like, do you know what? I enjoy it. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to keep going. But other than that, I was young when I started watching it.
Who were some of your favorites? I understand you didn't like Melina, who is
Melina. I've always loved Melina.
Okay. You were afraid of her.
I was scared of Melina.
Okay.
I do like Melina, but I was scared. Her and Beth Phoenix, I was very, very scared of. I think that's why at the time I didn't like them. Now, I met Melina last year, and she was actually a really nice person, so I felt a little bit bad. But obviously, if you've ever seen any of my stuff, I have a massive love for John Cena. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, the biggest fan. It's bad. I absolutely love him. I think he's kind of the main reason I kind of stuck it out for so long as well. And obviously now everyone else, they've just, I've just ended up falling in love with so many of them. But yeah, he was kind of the main reason that I watched it, and obviously with a lot of the originals as well.
Okay, I don't think I've seen enough to know that yet. I did watch about 3 or 4 of your videos the other day. What is it about John Cena? Just the whole
It's just
larger than life character?
I don't know what it is. It's just I think he's just such a cool guy. And obviously, you know, when I was a lot younger, I was quite a bit of a tomboy, and kind of John Cena was just an absolute idol. I just thought, you know, the performance and everything about him, he was just absolutely incredible. I don't know what it is, but I've just absolutely loved him. Anything, even if he's on the TV, I get excited. I've got a pillow with his face on, everything. big fan.
Any favorite match of Cena's?
Do you know what? I was actually thinking about his feuds today. There's so many matches of his I like. You know, you got like the ones with Brock Lesnar, CM Punk's. I was doing something about Extreme Rules today, and I was talking about him and Batista's match at Last Man Standing. There's I wouldn't say I've got a favourite. Obviously, whatever he does, I like. I'm quite biased.
He's a movie star now too. He was supposed to be in the latest Fast and Furious. I guess it's been delayed though because of the pandemic closing down movie theaters. Is there any movies of his that stand out to you?
Do you know what I remember? The first ever movie I saw was when he did The Marine. And that was awful, but I still love it. And do you know what? I don't know what you guys kind of call it over there, but they're blockers that he was in. That was hilarious. He was really, really funny in it. I quite enjoyed that. Obviously, anything he's in, I'm going to watch.
Okay, I haven't watched The Marine yet.
Like the original Marine.
Okay. There's like 12 of them now?
Yeah, there's a lot of them now. Miz kind of took over and they kind of pushed John out a little bit.
Now, judging by your tattoo, you don't look like the typical John Cena fan. I would have guessed maybe the Undertaker or Vampiro or someone with that. With the what is it? A skull with male hair.
Do you know what? I like horror. I really like horror films. So I've got like clown tattoos and like eyes and kind of. I like unusual stuff. Oh, this side's quite pretty, but I like unusual tattoos. I don't really know why,
right?
But mainly because I like horror and I just find it quite interesting. But obviously, I love the Undertaker. Who doesn't love the Undertaker?
Do you think he's really going to be retired, or?
I hope so. I know that sounds horrendous, but that poor guy, his body must just be in bits. Like, you know, the way they kind of, you know, with the Boneyard match was incredible. And I think that was such a good send-off. And I don't think they should keep bringing him back and, you know, continue with him. Because there's only, in the nicest way, there's only so much Undertaker you can see. But his body just must be shattered. He's a brain, bless him.
Were you surprised that they got rid of Gallows and Anderson so quickly after the Boneyard match?
I was actually quite disappointed because I quite like them too. And, you know, what they had going on with AJ, you know, it was really, really good. There's so many of the releases I was shocked by. I was got gutted about quite a few of them. But yeah, do you know what? I was, especially after what they did with the Boneyard match, I was surprised that they went. But who knows what's going to happen? They're probably going to release more people, but then at the minute they've been bringing people they've released back.
Yeah.
Who knows?
From what I understand, those people are still getting paid until the end of this week. So technically they could use those guys up until next Monday because they just have like a 3-month no compete clause. So they're still getting whatever pay they're getting. But it seems like they might bring Heath Slater back now.
Yeah, which I was, out of everyone, I didn't expect him. Out of everyone, was not expecting.
He was apparently making $400,000 a year. That was the most shocking thing that I saw.
He was never there.
Yeah.
He was never involved. Yeah, he was someone that What, I don't mind him. I think he's quite good, but he wasn't someone that I would be like, oh, do you know what? Really would like to see them back. He's not someone that I would really be that excited about seeing.
No, he had a long career there too. Now Drew McDonald, or no, what's his name? Drew McIntyre. I always get him confused, but he's not really over in Canada. I understand in Scotland, obviously they love him, but how does England view him?
Love him. Everyone loves him. I've got friends in Scotland that know him, and I think when he won the Rumble, that was just an explosion. Like, everyone was so happy, and he's just someone that you don't dislike. In like over here, nobody dislikes him. I'm not surprised. He does come across a really good man as well, and I think he's really, really good. He's really good.
Very good. And as far as the divas, do you have any favorites? There's so many great ones these days.
Do you know what? For me, there's some really talented females. Like I praise Charlotte Flair all the time. She is just absolutely incredible. I really, really. There are so many underrated females that they have, and they don't use enough. And I say it all the time. There's obviously, apart from recently where they've used like Bianca Belair, and now obviously Shayna's coming back, and there's so many ladies on that roster. Like Naomi, she is just absolutely incredible, and they're not used enough. But yeah, there's not many of them I dislike. The only one I don't really like as much is probably Mandy Rose. She's the only woman out of all of them that I'm not the biggest fan of.
And how is Paige viewed by the people in the UK? Is she kind of like the homegrown talent, or does some of the stuff she's done kind of give you guys a sour taste about her?
No, not really. If I'm honest, nobody mentions her that much, if I'm completely honest. They used to. Obviously, it's great she's from the UK, and what she did for the women in WWE is absolutely incredible, and she really did make a stand. Nobody really has anything bad to say about her. The stuff she's done it, and nobody says anything bad about her. I just don't think people, not that they don't care, but they're moving on, if you get what I mean.
Now, I think I saw you made a post recently about Paige. Did she recently get implants? Or am I imagining this, breast implants?
She did a while ago, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't notice until I think you made a post about it.
Yeah, no, it was a while back. She did. Yeah, she did have them. And I think a lot of people were quite judgy about it as well,
Okay.
which wasn't the nicest. If she's happy, she's happy.
I think a lot of the females in the wrestling business have them. In the older day, not that old, but like the 2000s and the 90s, it was almost a prerequisite to have them.
Yeah, well, that's why, obviously, I don't know if you've read up about Charlotte, what's kind of going on with her at the minute, but that's why she's out, because she's had an injury with her like breast implant. So that's actually why she's out at the minute. But there's not many that don't have them anymore. I think when it was more the divas, they all had them. But I think there's a lot now that don't as much. But back in the day, everyone had them. I think that was kind of like a requirement kind of thing.
Yeah, it was, I think. It was the unwritten requirement.
I think so. I wouldn't be surprised.
Now, I know now they look down at the divas of the past. I don't know how you view them, but it was still pretty entertaining what they did in the 90s and 2000s, but it seems the girls of today almost shame some of the things that the divas did.
There's women that should, if they were there in WWE now, like it would have helped their career in a way. The prime example for me is Victoria. I am a huge fan of Victoria, and I've always been. She's probably my all-time favorite, if I'm honest, because I just, she's just absolutely incredible. If she was there now, she would make a big impact, I think. And kind of in that day, it was very bra and panties matches. It was very dancing, that kind of thing, completely compared to now, like complete opposite. It would be crazy to really mix the two together and just kind of see what happens. Imagine that.
You might have an idea there.
Imagine that. That would be like the biggest crossover. That'd be really cool.
That's one idea that might help ratings, actually, but we know that the ratings haven't been good lately, often hitting the 0.4s here in this side of the world. What would you do if you were in creative to kind of freshen things up?
What, completely, or just like the women's division?
Just some ideas to maybe help, because you're young, you've got a fresh mind. Right now they have like the 75-year-old Vince McMahon deciding what people will find entertaining, but for a young fresh mind, what do you think some of the things they should do to bring back the younger fans? Because I think the median age for SmackDown viewers is 57 and NXT is 58, which is crazy.
Wow. Do you know what? I think the location matches were really good. Like the Boneyard, and even the story, Fiend and John Cena, and that for me, and even NXT, obviously with Velveteen Dream, I think that kind of thing where they do take them out and do something completely different would help a lot. I would really enjoy it. I'd find it really entertaining. Like, obviously, you've got Extreme Rules, and I think it's like a swamp match.
I think so.
Not really sure if they're going for like a Shrek vibe or what they're kind of doing, but the location matches, 100%. Like, that would be so cool. And do you know what? One thing I moan about all the time is the women's tag team division. It really gets on my nerves because it's just the kind of they haven't got proper tag teams. The only one that stand out for me as an actual tag team would be the Iconics. The rest of them are all thrown together. You've got on the men's side, you've got your New Day, and you've got, well, I was gonna say Miz and Morrison, but they're kind of thrown together. And you've got the Usos. What they could do if they had a proper women's tag team division, I'd be invested. They've gone so many years without having them titles, and now they have them. There's so many opportunities and so much they could do. Hopefully, one day they'll start doing something.
What do you think about this eye for an eye match that is getting a lot of criticism? Does that make you want to watch?
No, not really. The thing is, I'm not the biggest Seth fan. I like him more now than I used to. Like him as the whole Messiah thing, I think it's just hilarious. Like the way he kind of collects his disciples and brings them in, I think it's great. And obviously Rey Mysterio, absolutely love Rey Mysterio. So I'm not that excited. It would be a good match because it's them two, but the whole for an eye, I don't get it. I just don't understand.
Well, I think everyone knows no one's going to really lose an eye.
I think, unless someone just loses an eye, it's the only thing you could save it. If someone actually does lose their eye. I don't think that's going to happen, but who knows.
What do you think about Dominic, Rey Mysterio's son?
I just don't get it. I think I've struggled kind of following the storyline. I think the whole thing with Dominic has been going on for a little bit too long. He seems to be there all the time in his little feuds, and he's using the feuds. I don't know. I'm not really feeling the storyline that much, if I'm honest.
So as far as your future goals, is it just to continue doing what you're doing and maybe build your brand more, or would you eventually want to be a backstage reporter for a major company, or would you want to get into the talent side of it as far as in ring?
Well, I think obviously what I do at the minute, but I've got a lot kind of in the pipe work of, you know, when promotions do start up again, I'm going to be working with a promotion here. So I have a few things planned going forward. And I'm just going to kind of see how it plans out. Obviously, I like doing the videos. I like doing my content. If it ended up that I got into the talent side and I wanted to actually do the training and I liked it, I'd stick with it. So at the minute, with everything that's going on, I'm just taking it as it goes.
Is there any special talent or anything you have that we might be surprised to know about you?
I can actually dance, funny enough. I can actually dance. I haven't danced in a while, but I can dance. But other than that, I've done like every single hobby possible. Like every hobby possible, I've done it. But I wouldn't say I've got like a secret talent. Maybe I have. Maybe I'll find out.
Yeah, maybe you haven't discovered it yet.
Maybe not. Who knows?
What would your finishing move be if you were a wrestler?
Oh, I don't know. As in, like, I wouldn't really want to copy someone's, but then I'll just make something really random up. But if I had to copy one from somebody, I'd probably copy the RKO.
Okay.
Just because it's the RKO, I think, and that's probably one of the finishes I love the most. Not just because I've seen Randy one, but I think it's a powerful one, and it's a well-known one. And
What was Randy's match versus Edge the greatest match ever? Did you see it?
It was. It was really hard, obviously, because I was gutted. Because obviously I was meant to go to WrestleMania this year, and I was so excited because both of them are like childhood, memories right there for me, and I was so excited about it. And there was a feud I was really looking forward to because they're incredible, and it just didn't work out for me. Like, the good matches, but I couldn't get behind it. I think it's really, really hard with having the no crowds. Really hard. And as much as you've got people banging behind, it's still not the same. It's really not the same.
What I find funny is when they have the plants chant, "This is awesome," when everybody knows their plants. So it just comes off as a little cheesy to me.
And it makes me laugh so much where they do zoom into people and they're banging, and you're just thinking, this is embarrassing. In the nicest way, it's embarrassing. Like, because they're meant to be there,
Yeah.
and they're each week they're the same person. And if that was a normal show, you'd think, oh, they've spent a lot of money this week. They're traveling around a lot as well. So yeah, it's hard with the no fans, really hard, and I don't think it helps with the extras banging on the plastic.
I think that would be one of the worst jobs in the world to have right now, because I think they do like 12 hours of taping in a row and you have to stand there and pretend to be excited. It's
And it
pretty
must be
bad.
so hot in there as well. Must be really, really warm. You'd be boiling. Yeah, see,
Yeah.
I don't think I'd want to do that, but you're getting paid. Can't really complain that much.
They're
But yeah,
getting paid for sure.
yeah, they are getting paid. There's a lot of people you kind of see in the crowd. You're like, oh, I know you. Oh, I know you as well. So,
Is there anything really crazy you've done in your life, similar to like a rock that people might find cool to hear about?
but what? Sorry.
Just something crazy you've done in your life. Like, have you ever had done anything really wild?
Do you know what? I'll tell you a story. I actually had a bit of a disagreement with Rey Mysterio last year.
Really?
So he obviously came over to the UK for a convention, and I have tried my hardest forever to not see him without a mask. I've tried, that's my childhood. I don't want to see it. Keep your mask on, keep the dreams going. And obviously he was at this convention. I was there volunteering, working there for the weekend. And he was obviously there, and obviously I was so excited. And I had my photo done with him, and he had his mask on. And then I went back to obviously where I was sitting when I was obviously doing my volunteering, and this guy's walked out. I've looked around the corner, and he doesn't have his mask on. And I've just seen him, and I was like, oh my God. I felt a bit heartbroken, not going to lie. And a little bit later, he comes back in, stands in front of me at this table, and puts his mask back on. And I turned around and I said to him, I was like, I'm really heartbroken. And I told him how I felt. I said that I've gone for a very long time without seeing this, and now you've put it on right in front of me. So thank you very much. And he felt actually really bad about it. I was not impressed, as you can imagine.
No. So I guess you purposely avoided searching it up or watching any of his...
Yeah, I wanted to avoid it because, it's like I've watched him so long with it, and that's his whole thing, isn't it? So for me, that's what, I didn't want to ruin it. I didn't want to weirdly ruin my childhood, even though I'm 24, but I didn't want to ruin my childhood. So yeah, I kind of just said to him, I'm not impressed. I'm not happy that you've taken it off, and then put it on right in front of me. And he felt bad. I'm glad he felt bad.
And you mentioned you were going to go to Tampa for WrestleMania this year.
Yeah.
Is there any other travel destinations that you have on your list? Unfortunately, that got canceled.
No, I'm lucky. I only had that planned at the minute. Obviously, I was going to go on holiday further down the line. Glad I didn't book anything. But obviously, as soon as we can kind of go to America and flights and everything's back to normal, I will be in America at some point. I'm not sure what they're doing about WrestleMania next year, if it's going to go on or not. We shall see. But if it does, I probably will go next year.
Oh, very good. Well, we'll be around in LA WrestleMania weekend if it happens. So maybe we'll run into you in person if that takes place.
I wonder what colour hair I'll have at that point as well.
Yeah, maybe I won't recognize you.
No, I might not have the red hair anymore. Who knows? I change it all the time, so who knows what colour I'd have.
Have you been able to still work out during this lockdown? Obviously, you have a great physique normally. I'm sure you still do, but obviously it's harder to maintain that without a gym.
I don't actually go to the gym.
Oh, really? You're one of the lucky ones.
I haven't been to a gym in about 3 years. In all honesty, I haven't. I just I do a lot of walking, I'd say, so that kind of helps. But yeah, a lot of obviously the gyms. I think the gyms over there open where you are now, or
I have to drive to a different province. In my province, they're still closed, but it varies from province to province here. So I don't know how it is there.
They're only just in the next few weeks opening up, but you have to book time slots now. So you can't go in with a training partner. You have to go in certain times, and sometimes you might not get that slot, and then you get an hour time slot each time. So I think a lot of people over here have ended up building their own gyms and ordered a lot of stuff online. Obviously, when Amazon must have been going crazy because everyone just ordered. Majority of my friends that do go have just built their own gyms, so they might not even go back. So I don't blame them really if they're saving themselves money by doing their workouts at home.
And maybe you can help me with the pronunciation of... I call him Marty Scrull. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. People give me hell, whatever, I have to report on him, but he's from the UK.
Yeah.
This guy from Ring of Honor. How do you pronounce his last name?
I'm trying to think how I pronounce it. Scroll.
Scroll.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you guys big fans of him there? He's not really over here.
Yeah, he is liked here. I don't think... He doesn't get spoken about that much over here. Not as much as he probably should.
Right.
But yeah, only a little bit. I think a lot of the guys over here, unless you are a big WWE fan, a lot of it is just about the main Brit wrestling. But I know most people I know, obviously apart from the people that are really invested, just mainly watch a little bit of WWE. I don't know that many people that watch all the rest. Obviously, I do because I have to keep up on everything. But a lot of other people just kind of keep to the Brit Rest.
It'll be interesting to see if he ends up keeping his job or not, because I guess there was a situation, he was 26 or 27 with a 16-year-old, but according to him, that's legal there, I guess.
No, it shouldn't be legal.
It shouldn't be, I agree.
There's a lot of people that have been, called out on what they've done. Big names as well, really. There's some big names over here that have been called out, and it shocked so many people. So we don't know what's going to happen going forward, but hopefully everything's going to change and people are going to feel safer.
Yeah, hopefully. Are you friends with many women wrestlers in the UK?
Yeah, see, I know quite a lot of them. There's so many over here as well now, so many, and they're so talented. There's so many talented wrestlers over here, and there's lots of, even interviewers and girls that do the videos as well. A lot of people have been affected, and it's scary, really. It's scary to see how many people have had these issues. So it's amazing that people have been so brave that they can actually come out and talk about what's kind of happened, and they've got a lot of support, which is incredible. Is a big thing to speak about. So they're going forward, hopefully, people will just feel safe at promotions and feel safe doing the wrestling stuff, and obviously training at these schools as well. Hopefully everyone's gonna not feel on edge, which at the minute it is very on edge over here. I think people are a bit scared of what to say, pretty much. Which I don't blame them.
What do you think? We've heard some people over here, I've never experienced it, but like now supposedly even men that'll hold the door open for a woman will sometimes get a look now as if that's inappropriate. Do you have any issues with a guy being, I guess, to me, that's just being a gentleman. But
yeah, no, there's being a gentleman, there's being a creep. I think to me there's a difference. I don't really have many issues with these kind of things anyway. I think if anyone kind of gave me a problem, I'd say how I felt pretty much. But I do think sometimes that people will, hopefully they're going to be a lot more cautious, going forward on how they approach things and not say silly things, pretty much. Hopefully.
I'm sure you must have had a couple creepy fans here and there, because I've even had them, and I don't post pictures like you do, so
yeah,
I couldn't imagine.
I do get it, but do you know what? I think I'm very, very thick-skinned, so it goes over my head quite a lot. So when I get, I'll get message requests and I'll get comments, and it just goes completely over my head. It doesn't bother me. I post these things. There's going to be people that are going to be a bit weird, or they're going to be rude, and I take it really. It doesn't really affect me. I usually just laugh it off.
Now, we also cover MMA on this channel. There's obviously a lot of great MMA fighters. Do you follow it at all?
Not as much. I wish I did, but not as much as I would like to. I know like the odd little bit, but not as much.
And for horror movies, as a horror movie fan myself, you mentioned you're a big fan earlier.
No, I get scared. I get scared, but I think what it is, I love the characters. I don't know why, but I just think like the creation of these characters and the way they are, the way they look, I just get so fascinated. Absolutely. I don't know why I like horror so much, but like the old, like the Chuckies and the Jason X's, I love all of that. Like all, Freddy Krueger, and that's kind of why like my tattoos and things like that, they're going to be that kind of themed. I don't know why, I just find it just fascinating.
Cool. Yeah, I think there's a lot of great horror movies from that time that you're talking about. Yeah. Now with all these digital effects, sometimes it doesn't come across as scary, I find.
No, I think, there's really good horror films, but the classics are the best. The classics are the absolute best. You know, I think they're doing another Halloween film. Pretty sure they're doing another one, which I'm excited about because
the last one wasn't bad.
I liked it. I think it's one movie I was really looking forward to seeing as well, because you know I love Jamie Lee Curtis, and of course you know I love everything about that film anyway. I'm a big fan.
Did you see the first Rob Zombie Halloween that he put out? I think around 2007-ish. That one was very violent.
Yeah, the violence isn't that bad. It doesn't really bother me, but
No.
I do love a horror film. I like the old horrors the best, I'd say. But did you watch the new Chucky? Did you watch the new Chucky film?
I haven't seen the new Chucky.
No, I liked it. I really liked it. I think the way they kind of made Chucky was so odd, but he was really good. I didn't expect it to be that good compared to, you know, see, Bride of Chucky was amazing. The rest of them went a little downhill, but that was a good comeback, I think. Really good comeback.
I did make the mistake of seeing the new It that came out last year. I did not like that, other than the first scene. You liked it?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Did you like the original then? Do you prefer
Yes, I did. Yes.
I think, you know, the original obviously was incredible, and he was, you know, Tim's brilliant. I did really enjoy the new ones, and I'm looking forward to there being another one as well.
I'm sure there will be another.
I think they've confirmed it's going to be another.
But the last one did great. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think the guy that kind of plays him as well, he's really good. Yes. The new guy, he's creepy, but he's really good.
Maybe I was just disappointed because I was an extra in the last It,
and
I thought they would actually. I was in the park when they had the Paul Bunyan statue, and they didn't show me. So maybe I was just bitter that they never actually showed me. But I got paid a couple grand for it, so I'm not complaining.
That's so cool.
Yeah. It would have been cooler if I was actually showed, but I was just one of the many people in the park. I was somewhere behind the cheerleaders, but...
Was you in the credits or anything, or did they just
They don't put extras in the credits, no. But I got a good payday for it, because I went down the first day and it was rained out, but I guess for a big movie like that, they still pay you. So I got actually 2 paydays out of it, yeah. But I got to see the clowns, and they did that scene maybe 15 times.
Yeah.
So it was cool to see the movie, to see what the scene was all about. Mm. Because when we were there that day, they didn't tell us, because they don't want people leaking information about the movie. But would you ever do any acting?
I probably could, but I don't know. I don't think now I could do it as much. I don't really have time, if I'm honest. I don't really have that much time. I used to do it when I was younger. I used to do a lot of acting when I was younger. I used to do a lot of dance. I used to do a lot of sport and everything. But I don't think I could do the acting. If it was a case of, obviously, you know, I was in the wrestling scene a lot more, I could probably do it then. I could put on a good performance. But I don't think I'd be any big star anytime soon.
Well, maybe you'll have an appearance in a horror movie one day.
Maybe.
There's so many haunted places. I'll just bring this up in the UK. I'm a big paranormal fan. Have you ever had any experiences?
Do you know what? I did when I was at college, I did a documentary about like paranormal activity kind of thing. And we went to this pub. It was like a hotel pub in Colchester, and it was known that it was haunted. And obviously we spent the night there. I was a little bit scared, I'm not gonna lie. I love all the paranormal stuff, like ghosts. I love it. I love all that kind of thing. And I sat there in this chair, and I felt something go like that across my face, and I freaked. Like this was on camera as well, and you saw my face just drop. and I just freaked. But anything like that, anything paranormal, that is pretty cool.
Why do you think there's increased activity in the UK? Is it because there's so much history? People have been around there so long.
A lot of people, you know, I don't know. There's a lot of people that don't believe in it all. I do. I've always kind of believed in it. There is a lot of history here, so it's probably a lot of that. But there, you know, I don't know that. I haven't visited that many places that are supposedly haunted, but obviously I've heard of quite a lot. And obviously, you know, when I was younger, we used to say we'd go on ghost hunts all the time, just in the local woods. So I don't think there's anything there, but we used to.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to talk to us, introduce you to the Canadian fans. If you want to go over your social media and where people can follow you.
Yeah, so thank you for having me to start with. Really, really appreciate it. You can follow me on Twitter at WatchesJess, and you can look me up on YouTube as just Jessy. And obviously, all my links, everything will be on both.
Excellent. Well, maybe we'll have you back on another time because you seem to keep a close eye on the current product. I report the news more than actually watch the current product unless something big happens. I won't put myself through the torture. But I found your reports interesting.
Thank you. Thank you, Ben. Thanks for having me as well.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Support us on patreon.com for $1.99 a month to watch our full shoot interviews ad-free and help our channel grow. Follow us on Twitter at the Hannibal TV for instant updates.